How you doing? You Paul?
Yes.
Nice to meet you, Paul. Claudio, nice to meet you. What's your name again?
Scott.
Scott. Welcome in. I'm gonna show you what I'm doing here. This is my main room. This is where I'm gonna put all the synthesizers and all the production, double walls, insulation material in here, then this 3 centimeters gap and more insulation here. And I'm also using this rubber in order to have it somewhat isolated. And we're also doing the same on the top ceiling. For the back, for now we've just planned to do one wall. This is the separation wall to the other unit, which has sound block. This would be enough, possibly?
Well, it depends on how many layers of plasterboard you're putting in there, what sort of absorption you're putting in.
What would you suggest that I use here?
Some kind of mineral wall, some kind of rock wall. It depends what sort of noise level you're generating here and what people next door are expecting.
Yeah, I'm trying just to be as quiet as possible for them. I don't want to disturb them, but mainly, I don't want to be disturbed. Would you suggest that I should put double walls there? You would?
Because you can't put it in afterwards.
Alright. So then, sound block. 2 of them?
Yeah.
That would do?
I think if you put resilient plasterboard bars or resilient fixings or something.
Resilient fixings.
Yeah.
Resilient fixings.
Resilient. Yeah. That floor.
Yeah.
That floor slab will go into your neighbours, so they'll be sitting on the same floor slab as you.
So what is a reasonable way to have a floating floor? Maybe some rubber?
See, we have a panel that sits on anti-vibration mounts.
Right.
But in this instance, it will make it too high, then your ceiling comes down. Like you said, you don't
Exactly.
You can get rubber and timber floors that are quite shallow, maybe 50, 60 mil, something like that.
Okay.
So the whole floor is then isolated off this slab, which I think you should look at doing.
So neoprene.
Yeah.
Of what thickness?
610 mil, something like that.
610 mil.
Something.
So slightly thicker than that 5 mil one.
Yeah.
So rubber and then floorboard.
I think you want it quite thick so it's not too flexible, and you might have to build it up, so it might be a few layers of ply on top of your rubber.
When you say ply, like this one?
Yeah, something very stiff. I mean, we've made up floors for audiology rooms with rubber, ply, different materials.
Rubber, ply and flooring, basically.
Sometimes steel plates in there.
That would be expensive, right?
Don't think it'd be expensitive.
But doesn't metal transmit the sound even more?
No. As long as you isolate it, no. It's good for mass damping. So
yeah.
It's good to stop.
Because you stop sound with mass, correct?
Correct. Low frequency sound particularly, yeah. But yeah, you don't want to be in here doing something and vibrations transmitting out through your floors into
Correct. And for the ceiling,
I mean, that's a concrete slab, isn't it? So
that's a pretty.
It's going to be 150, 200 mil thick, and I think you get around about 50 dB reduction through something like that. I would have thought something like that. You've already got a good concrete slab. You're not going to add a great deal of noise reduction, because in order to increase your noise reduction, you need to double the mass. So you're never going to double the mass of a concrete ceiling by introducing timber and all sorts of other things. You need to create some absorption in the void between your finished ceiling and your concrete wall. So again, you might want to put rock wall or something similar up there.
So rock wall and plasterboard.
Yeah.
And in order to hang it, I need some kind of isolation.
Yeah, again, resilient type hangers up there. Get some absorption up there. Get a little bit of noise reduction, plasterboard or something similar. But you're not going to add a great deal to what you're already getting in terms of noise reduction through that.
Because there's a big slab of concrete.
Big slab there, yeah. Quite a big area to cover here, so yeah, it could end up being a
bit expensive. Yeah. I know. Then this will be the mixing room with slanted walls so that the sound doesn't bounce too much.
Yeah, you don't want any standing waves or any bouncing back and forth. Oh yeah, good. What's in there? Just a toilet?
Yeah, that's a toilet, but this is another business unit.
Yeah, I think you need to protect yourself because you don't want to upset your neighbours.
So double walls even here?
Yeah.
Definitely, yeah?
Well, if it's going into the neighbours, just protect yourself. You don't do it, it's not good enough. It's then harder to do it afterwards.
I mean, plus we're talking about like 10 centimeters more, may as well do it, right?
Yeah, just so for less risk of having a neighbour complain.
I don't want anyone to complain ever again. You have to understand I spent my whole life being told, Claudio, turn it down! This is the one time where I can make that disappear.
What are these?
These are ventilation for my bathroom. I don't know how it's gonna work because in the end I'm having ducts for the air conditioning, but I'm trying to save as much room as possible for the ceiling. Lastly, this room, I won't be able to insulate too much because I've got this. The sound is gonna go out from this. There's nothing I can do about it.
Yeah.
In this corner, a door here, because of course I want to be able to operate the power, the servers, all the noisy bits, separated,
Are they giving
silent.
you a noise level inside? Are they saying to you we're going to deliver the air at a certain...
What I know is that if you use soundproof conduits, the ones that have like that rock wall inside of it, super quiet. Tell me about doors.
Right, well, as I say, we're going to look to offer you the latest model. Literally just been through a fire test which achieved 90 minutes integrity and 60 minutes insulation. Insulation isn't something that was critical in the UK, it's more of a European thing. But since legislation in November, in order to provide an external fire-rated door, it has to be tested to EN 1634. Which majority of doors in the UK, produced in the UK, don't have to. It was BS standard, and that was all that was required. So we've developed a brand new door.
Wow.
To try and take that bit of the market as well, but also to sort of upgrade our door. Our door is a 40, 50-year-old design that just works brilliantly.
Right.
But it doesn't mean we can't evolve it even more.
So are you saying that I'm gonna get your latest model of doors from my studio?
You will get the very first doors that we produce.
Innovation at Dr. Mix.
Quite heavy doors, they're obviously about 200 kg each, which is why it's very important that you support them correctly.
Is this gonna be enough or not?
No, I would probably say for these doors and any high acoustic steel doors weighing around that price, you put into a nice bit of timber construction.
Right.
A rugby goalpost, a H-frame construction, probably to be safe, 100mm thick. We need to do it to the size that they were detailed to for fire and acoustic purposes.
Which is why we're having this conversation now before I make this walls permanent.
Absolutely. So it's going to look very similar to this. You'll have your vision panel, the lock, be more centralised, the vision panel, the closer to make sure that it closes behind you and latches, which is we have to have on the fire rated door as well. But these hinges are disappearing. We're now going to concealed hinges. It's not something that anyone else, as far as we know, does on a door of our performance. Yeah, concealed hinges so you won't see that, and it'll work just as well. Drop down seals. Obviously we'll still keep the two mag seals that we've got in that door. That will remain the same.
And what is the finish on these doors?
Polyester powder coated, so it can be to any round colour that you need it to be. It's entirely up to you what you would choose.
I'm undecided because I like combinations of red, wood and white. I think that should be the theme.
But I mean, we could, if you like whites and reds, we can do the frame one colour and the leaf another colour.
I wouldn't mind.
Or the whole thing red, either or, it's not a problem. So yeah, it's
red doors.
something for you to think about.
Yeah. So basically, one would be here, one would be there, one would be there, and one in the back for the noise room.
But it won't have a vision panel on that one because...
No, I don't need it.
No, exactly.
This is so exciting! I am thinking of making some nice big windows here, another window between the two studios here, so that we can see through, and also it makes like the place look bigger, right?
Yeah, so it's going to be minimum 200 and... So say 250, 260. So it's going to be a very good wall in terms of its noise reduction.
Right.
So you want to match that window.
Yeah.
And what do I have to do in order to match the window?
Acoustics are based on the air gap between the two panes of glass and the thickness of glass. If you've got a wider wall, you don't need as thick glass. But if you've got a thinner wall, you need thicker glass to work in the same way. I'll go away, I'll have a look on our calculator and have a look at the thickness of the wall and what thickness of glass we will need in order to create a window of a performance of probably 55, 60 dB.
Would you say like two windows or one big window? What would you suggest?
I think aesthetically, I think one biggish window would probably look better than a couple of windows.
And that means stronger structure in here to sustain it.
Yeah, your builders will need to put in something that's going to take a If we do, say 2 meters, 2 meters by meter.
2 meters by a meter.
I don't think we'll need to go too thick on the glass either to achieve that. 10.8 maybe is the thickest to get the performance you should have in a room like this. I'll give you all the information and look at the design.
Dean is coming right back, so there's the man. We've been doing some planning here. The doors are about 200 kilos. We will have to build
about 100 mil posts on the H frame structure.
Yeah.
Just that'll give us the weight and take.
Both doors will hang off of that central pillar there, so
When you open the door, you want to go in there.
Yeah.
So what I'll do is I'll build something here.
right.
Yeah. Okay.
Big nice structure. So.
I suggest that you guys go check out IAC Acoustics website right now. There is a link in the description. These guys are awesome. Thank you so much, guys. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.